We have been talking about the sport of American football and its connection to severe brain disease for a very long time. Chronic traumatic encephalopathy, also known as CTE, is a degenerative disease discovered in the brains of many former professional players. The NFL and NFL officials officially have never admitted that a link exists between playing football and CTE, even though it's been abundantly clear for a really pretty long time, according to the medical community. It can't be definitively diagnosed until after death. But over time, we've seen, especially after the untimely deaths of younger and younger football players for other reasons, right? A car crash or for other reasons. We've seen evidence of CTE in autopsies, even of teenagers, Lewis, as we've talked about in the past. So the connection has really been clear for a while, has it not?
It has. And while the cause of death is not the CTE itself,
Right.
this can cause severe depression, and it can cause erratic behavior, violent behavior, and several players have committed suicide as a result of the brain damage.
Now, the NFL has maintained they're doing everything they can to make football as safe as possible. They take safety very seriously, but this has never really addressed the true issue, even with better and better helmets, right? The NFL always says, we've got the safest helmets we've ever had. That's fine in terms of preventing concussion, but CTE is related to the cumulative impact of these subconcussive hits, one after another, that are just part of football. And the big news is now, for the first time, a senior NFL official has acknowledged that there is a connection between football and CTE. His name is Jeff Miller. He's the NFL Senior Vice President for Health and Safety. And he has admitted, yes, there is a link. This was during a roundtable discussion on the issue of football-related head trauma, which was organized by the U.S. House of Representatives Committee on Energy and Commerce. And Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky, a Democrat from Illinois who has been a guest on our show before, directly said to Miller, is there a link between football and degenerative brain disorders like CTE? And even though he eventually sort of equivocated, the answer was yes from Jeff Miller. The answer to that question is certainly yes. He cited research by Dr. Ann McKee, who's a brain injury specialist who found signs of CTE in 90 out of 94 deceased NFL players, 45 of 55 college players, and 6 out of 26 high school students. This might seem completely uncontroversial to you, and the content of it is, because we've known about the dangers of football and CTE for a very long time. But just this year, Dr. Mitch Berger, who's a member of the NFL's Head, Neck, and Spine Committee, said there is no link. So the fact that we now have Jeff Miller on record, even though after he said, well, you know, there's a number of questions we sort of have to look at and blah, 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 he did say, yes, there is a link.
It had to happen eventually.
Yeah.
There was no way they could deny this forever, as more evidence piles up on them. And so I guess for some reason they decided that now was the time.
Have you noticed that when you watch football on TV, there's essentially no mention of this by broadcasters? I mean, this is a crisis, right? This is a crisis. High school and college football players clearly are already suffering the effects of CTE. You could watch the full season of football games, you would not see it. And the reason is we don't really have independent sports journalism broadcasting games. You might think we do, right? Oh, CBS is broadcasting the games. They can say whatever they want. Oh, no. These TV contracts are huge money for the networks. And I don't know, I don't pretend to know whether it's implicit or explicit, but they don't want to lose access, the networks, to broadcasting NFL games. And they're going to keep their mouths shut about the fact that this is a systematic problem for football players.
Yeah, they're not going to address that live on air,
No.
but you cannot skip addressing when some player is lying unconscious on the field. And of course, when there are injuries, it's very obvious, and they do discuss that. But yes, the long-term effects, not so much.